This is the first part of my guide for the quest introduced on the Winter Update 2019, the Feaster of Souls. The first part will cover everything from the start point up until finishing the Thaian. Make sure to come back for the other part. The reward for this quest is the Poltergeist outfit and more importantly, the access to 5 team bosses and 3 solo ones. But people were disappointed when this quest got introduced and I still see people that haven't even done it. Some of the reasons are, they either don't care about doing bosses or they think it's too long of a quest. For me, it took around 2 hours and a half to do everything from zero to finishing the final boss on a 400 RP. I did most of it solo, although the bosses obviously require the help of others, but you can get to that point by yourself. To start, head to the Jakundaf desert and find the NPC Paranorbert. He will give you a death knell, which is like a bell, and you need to ring it in these 3 locations: the Ghostlands and Graveyard of Garling and on the Dark Cathedral. Since you're already close enough to the Dark Cathedral, do that one first, following this path. Then in Garling is the Graveyard, and then go here to get to the Ghostlands. In this case, ring the bell here. Now head to Edron and ask Spectulus for a mission, which is a sub-quest that you will need for a later mission, but it has a 30-minute wait timer when you pick it up, so while you do the other missions the timer will be running and that will save you time. After receiving the mission, find the Shoddy Beggar in Edron and follow this conversation. After that, bring the plans for the strange device to Spectulus and go back to doing the missions for the Feaster of Souls. Right by Spectulus, at the northwest tower, find the Wooler Grinder and use a skull on it. Make sure to get a bone meal from doing so. Then on the tower of Spectulus, use a grey flower on this machine to get extract from it. Use the 2 together and then drink the potions. Head back to the desert and next to Paranorbert, step on these squares to get teleported to the Brain Grounds. For this mission, it's recommended to have a team ready to help you, as you need to go down 2 floors till you reach this area, which is where the Brain Bros is located. You won't be able to go through and you will need to talk to the NPC. The reason you need a team is because the monsters are pretty hard for the solo player, but it's also not a place you can freely run, as the floor of the cave will do damage based off your HP, with 15% on the first floor and 5% higher per floor. So running is definitely going to get you killed even if it's not by the monsters. And also this mission will end with doing the brain boss, which you're gonna need people to do so. After telling the NPC about the boss area, he will give you a mission and a scalpel. Go back to the cave and when you step on the ground that does damage to you, it will create an ulcer. Use the scalpel to get a sample and you need to do this 20 times. If you're fast enough, you can use the scalpel 2 times before the ulcer disappears. After this, the new mission will be to purify the lost souls. These are dropped by the monsters of the cave and it's highly recommended to have them beforehand to save time. You may even find some of the marker for sheep. You need to purify 20 with the machine he gives you, and in average you should use more than 60 lost souls as the success rate is of 50%. Then he will give you the mission to fight the Brainhead. Head back to the last floor with your team and do the boss, but while going down there you can start grabbing the items for the next mission in advance, which require you to go to these spots. Use the stump to receive a yarn and then use that on the water here to get it clearer. On the second floor use it on the machine and you will receive the Brutal Shroud. Then head to the Brain Boss. This boss is weak to ice, so avalanches or icicles are great. Kill the cerebellum by the northeast and then use a stone around there, and avalanche the middle where the brain head is at. He won't move at all, and overall the damage in this room is minimal, even from summons, so the boss is really easy. But it still requires at least 4 people if they're around level 300, because the timer to do this boss is of only 5 minutes. After succeeding with the boss, enter the teleport by the southwest, and from now on you won't receive damage from the floor, making it easier the next time you decide to do this boss. Report to Paranorbert and then say hi, yes for the Burial Shroud mission, which you already did. Now you will have to ring the bell in 3 new places. One in the Vampire Crypt of Edron, follow the path until you get here, and the second one at the Shadow Tomb of Anchormoon. Use a shovel on the sand at this spot and then follow the path. Lastly, a Yala harp used by this statue at the Nightmare section. Now head to Port Hope. Here you will find a spot similar to the one next to Paranorbert. However, to go through this one you need to keep the Burial Shroud. This is another area with the same monsters from the Brain Ground, and in here you need to do 3 solo bosses. The first one is located here. In terms of difficulty, they can all be done by level 250s, and it's recommended to use your summons for them. They don't take much damage from physical or energy, so knights need to use ice or fire weapons, and paladins should use envenoming arrows. For sorcerers, icicles or avalanche will be the best. After the first boss, make sure to give time for your summon to heal, and then head here and then step on this square to go to the other side of the river. Then the second boss is here. Running around this area starts to get hard as there is a lot of monsters. Use Garlics or Necklace of Deep to reduce some of the damage. Going in won't be a problem, but coming out will be harder as the monsters will be lured, so be careful. Go to this spot and enter the special square to go to the next floor, and then just by the ease you will find the last mini boss. All of these bosses can be repeated every 20 hours and can drop the Nightmare Boots. Now hold on to the skull coins they drop as you need them for another mission. Go back to Spectulus and continue the sub-quest. He will ask you for a rare crystal, which you can find in this cave or netherrack. Get it and report to Spectulus. He will give you a carrying device and the rare crystal black. Now go to Carlin and then to Vega. Just by the boat you will find this pond. Use the crystal on the ice cube and follow this path until you find the collector. Kill him and use the carrying device on the corpse. Then it should turn into a field carrying device and then just report back to Spectulus. Now ask him about the Thaian and head north to this house. Here you will find the NPC the Thaian and say hi, need, yes, yes. You will need to ring the bell from the first mission in 3 new spots. One in the Kilmaresh Catacomb, which is right inside the city just by going down here. Monsters will be fighting each other, so just a few will target you. Run to this area and use the bell, then get out. Make sure to check your quest log for the Feaster of Souls, as it is common to not use the bell on the right spot for this one. If you have it completed, then you did fine. If not, go back and use the bell across the cave. Next up, head to Ramoa, which is an island you get access by doing the Shattered Ice quest. I will assume you have it, and then head to the Lich Health and use the bell here and get out. But while you're there, scout the cave for possible spawn of the Cavers, a rare mound monster that can be killed for 50 charms or tamed with a Maxilla Maximus. The last one will be a Lion's Rock, a spawn for ancient scarabs and royal lions. You will need to have access for it, but since it's also for low levels, I will assume you have it. If not, it takes less than 5 minutes if you get the items beforehand. Just do the missions until you can go through the flame, go in and ring the bell. Report to the Thaian and he will give you a new mission. By the mountain next to his house, use the Sapphire on the wall to get teleported to a cave. Here there will be cursed and evil prospectors. They look the same as the monsters you already fought, but these are different. For starters, do not AoE them, and focus with single target only, as they have a spell that reflects damage and hits a lot, so it's easier to deal with it if you're only attacking one at a time. In here you got to use the pick onto large crystals of the wall, in particular these ones. It can be a bit tricky to hit them on the right spot sometimes, and it's not always the square they seem to be, so watch out for that. You're gonna stay by the entrance and basically not face any monsters or go inside the cave and mine more crystals. It takes around 30 seconds for the crystal to respawn, and you get either 1, 5 or 10 when you use the pick on them, and these can be mined by anyone, so if you have people doing it with you, they can share the crystals with you if needed. Collect 100 and head back to the Thaian. However, make sure to walk closely to the mountain, as if you go south just by a little bit, the crystals will disappear, so just take the closest path possible. Say need yes yes and now go back to the cave to mine more crystals. This time, while you're mining, there will be a chance of getting teleported to another place. This is what you want to happen. However, if you get more than 50 crystals without getting teleported, report to the Thaian again and start over. When you do get teleported, you will be at a room with a large crystal in the middle. When you use it, you will be teleported just outside of that room, which can be dangerous if you did the missions with more players, as there will be more monsters than usual, so be careful, and as soon as you use the crystal, start running south to the entrance. When you report back to the Thaian, he will teleport you to a lever room to fight him in his boss form. This one is another easy boss which consists of killing the summons as they appear, until the room changes forms, but these are the ones that can reflect damage, so do no AoE, stick to the SDs and single target. When the room changes, it means that a Thaian has spawned. Find it on either of these 3 spots and kill it to damage the boss. Repeat the process until the actual Thaian dies. Be aware that the last ghost will spawn in the middle next to the boss. Head back to Spectulus and report by saying the Thaian to him. This will give you access to Sarganash, located in Vengoth, and this is where the 3 bosses and the final one are located. I will make another video for these bosses, so just check that out. Thank you for watching and make sure to come back for part 2 of the quest guide.